Hey YouTube, now this video is going to have three purposes behind it. One, I'm going to highlight the book that I've written, Tales from the Little Black Book, One Man's Journey on a Dating Scene, my journey on a dating scene. And two, I'm going to mention a place and time for those of you, the few of you who would have been there at the time. And the third, there's going to be a number of you who's going to be able to relate to the type of person I'm speaking of. Okay, so we go back to the year of the mid-90s, between 94 to 97. Here in the UK, now, we're talking on the club scene. I'm from London, as you could probably hear my accent. For those of you in the UK recognise I'm a Londoner, born and raised. Anyway, the friends I had, we were quite adventurous. We'd party not just in London, but we'd go further afield, especially to the Midlands and North, because being adventurous, mischievous young men, we understood that the women in the North and the Midlands are friendlier than women in the South. That's how it is. Long story, I'm not going to go into that. I've made videos about that, but that is how it is. People in the North are just friendlier than people in the Southeast. End of story. Anyway, so we used to go to a place called the Pink Coconuts in Derby, and also the place in Stoke-on-Trent, and also Valentino's in Stoke-on-Trent. Now I want to concentrate on Stoke-on-Trent. Excuse my other phone going off. I know, I'll worry about that later. Yeah, so Stoke-on-Trent back in the mid-90s. The place versus Valentino's. Now, the place played better music. He had two rooms. One room was the more urban music, like the R&B and a splice of hip hop, and the other room had more commercial dance music. But it wasn't totally mainstream. Okay, then you had Valentino's that had also two rooms, a small room that played sort of a mixture of music, but in the big room it was more pop 70s, because on the Saturday it was fancy dress night, and the theme was 70s. Anyway, so Valentino's versus the place. Valentino's, in my opinion, had a nicer, friendlier crowd. Because it was fancy dress, the people were more approachable and they were more fun-loving. And yeah, so that was Valentino's. The place, though the music, in my opinion, was better, because, you know, I'm more into the sort of funky underground sort of beats, but the place was the closest to my taste of music, even though I had more fun in Valentino's. Let me talk about the place. The crowd there, especially in the small room, not the big room that played the sort of more commercial dance music. The small room, as I said, played more R&B strokes, touch F hip hop. There was a consequence that came with that. Though I love the music, there's a consequence. Unfortunately, with the R&B music, and dancehall bashment, comes a vibe, comes a gangster vibe. Not necessarily a hardcore vibe, but it does bring a kind of gangster vibe to it. The angry, yo motherfucker, I'm the wrong nigga to fuck with. So therefore, as a consequence, you find the people are not as nice. They're not as friendly as a place that plays more upbeat, more happy music, such as soulful house and stuff like that. Now, where does it stand on the women's side, as us guys chasing the women? The consequence I found, it attracted a few white ghetto girls, and this is where some of you are going to relate to what I'm saying. Now, my problem with white ghetto girls, I have a problem with white ghetto women, because I find they are racist in reverse, but they're too dumb to realize that. And I tell you what I mean by that, because, right, they have the same approach as a racist. Now, a racist view black people in a stereotypical point of view, and their point of view of a black person is very narrow-minded. As far as a race is concerned, there's only 2 or 3 types of black people, which is a Jamaican yardie, a street thug, or a UK street thug, or American gangster. And that's their idea of a black person. The white ghetto girls, believe it or not, have the same point of view, but the only difference is instead of hating it as a racist, they favor it. But it's still a negative, because in their opinion, if you're a black person and you speak with articulation, intelligence, then they don't class you as a true black person. So in other words, if you display intelligence, you're not a true black person. Let's just let that sink in. Intelligence to them is not associated with being black. Let that sink in. Intelligence is not associated with being a true black person. And they claim to be into black people. They would say, yeah, they're into, they date black men, they date a particular type of black man. A black man who walks with a limp, has his jeans sagging down, takes drugs and so forth. That's their idea of a true black man. In America, I think they call it a real nigger, and that's my problem with them. And that's my problem. They're too thick to realize that black people are just like any other people. We have a variation of people amongst us. Like the same way you have white trash in America, you have high class, upper middle class, and so forth. It's the same lick, as I say, with black people. And the same way you have a variation with Europeans. Like if you take a French man, he's going to be culturally different to a British man, British white guy. In the same way, an American white guy is going to be different to a South African white guy. But they're so damn, these white ghetto girls are so fucking stupid and so damn thick. They think a true black man is a Jamaican. In that right there, right? Or a street gangster from America. And that's my problem. And that was always my problem with the place in Stoke-on-Trent. The white ghetto girls it attracted. And you will notice, I'll make a prediction, you won't get much argument because they know that I'm right. You're not going to get in the comments section, you're not going to get much argument or protest because you can't argue with the truth. At best, you're going to get insults. Now, let me tell you about insults. When a person states facts on YouTube and the comment section is, say, responded with insults, the person giving it insults, what they're saying indirectly is, I know you're telling the truth. I'm offended that you're telling the truth, especially as it's about me, but I lack the IQ to articulate a valuable argument back to you. So the best I can do is insult you, throw insults at you. So when someone throws insults to me, I look at it as a compliment because, you've confirmed that I'm telling the truth and you're offended. But you think in your little small IQ ghetto mind that throwing an insult at me is going to somehow void the truth of what I'm saying, which it isn't. There you go. So I've written about some of my experiences in these places in the Midlands and that, and if you choose to read more about my book, it's available on Kindle. Tales from Little Black Book, One Man's Journey on the Dating Scene. It's quite nuanced. It talks about variations of topics. Though the thread is dating, but it talks about the problems with interracial dating and various issues, political issues, historic issues and such like that. Anyway, that's enough promotion, enough waffling. So there we are. So those of you who was around in the days of Pink Coconuts and Derby and the place and Valentino's Stoke-on-Trent and the venue in Bournemouth and the zoo in Bournemouth shout out to all of you guys. Right, I can name many more clubs, but I'm going to be here all day. Anyway, thank you. I'm going to switch off my phone, and there we are. Okay, bye.